AITAH for refusing to help my dad and his pregnant wife by babysitting her 4-year-old during her high-risk pregnancy. I am 18, lived with my mom and dad until I was 4. My mom died from cancer, and then me and dad moved in with my grandparents, his parents. My grandparents helped my dad take care of me. He'd work and grandma would stay home with me, and if he had to work weekends, grandpa and grandma would make sure I still had fun on the weekends. Then when I was 6, my dad met someone and he wanted us to move out. He told me I was going to have a new mom and it'd be great and we'd be a family. I cried hard and said I didn't want a new mom and I didn't want to move. My dad told me having a mom again would be good and he said all these nice things, but I hated the idea. So dad moved in with that woman and he left me with grandparents. He came to see me once a week and tried to change my mind every time he saw me. Every time I cried that I didn't want a new mom and my grandparents had to comfort me. After a year, his relationship ended and he decided I was better off left with my grandparents if I didn't want a new mom because he wanted a new relationship. He continued coming to see me once a week. Sometimes he would ask what was going on in my life, but other times he would test the waters to see if I wanted to meet the women he was dating or had come around to the idea of a new mom. A couple of times after a breakup, he would get grumpy around me, and I found out later that a few of those relationships ended because of me and the fact they didn't get to meet me or have a relationship with me, and dad blamed me for that. A couple of years ago, I told him he could stop coming if he couldn't pretend to care about me anymore and just wanted me to go along with the new mom stuff. I said this to him because he stopped engaging with me and he'd be there more to show his face than to spend actual time with me. My grandparents had pulled him up on it like 5 times before I said anything, and I figured enough was enough. He told me he met someone and he wanted to marry her, and it was time for me to understand that it's better for his relationships if I'm willing to accept a new mom. Before I could respond, he said he believed I already knew. I didn't, because otherwise I wouldn't tell him to stop visiting me. He didn't believe me when I said I didn't know, and he left my grandparents that day in the worst mood. Though he did start coming to see me way less, and I maybe saw him once every month or 2. He brought his wife and her son, 2 at the time, once, and my grandparents told him he wasn't allowed to do that again, which caused some trouble with them. But my grandparents had my back and told him it was my home too, and he didn't get a say. He told my grandparents 2.5 months ago that his wife is pregnant and having trouble with her pregnancy, and he started asking if I would babysit her son, 4, for them. My grandparents said no, I said no, we said no together, and dad still keeps asking. He tries to guilt me, and then he accuses me of throwing a tantrum because he didn't stay faithful to mom after she died and because he wanted to move on with his life. He said this baby coming is going to be my half-sibling, and even if I hate him and his wife, I should want the baby to be born healthy and happy and help with making that happen. I think he's unreasonable, but since he's being so persistent, I figured I'd ask AITAH.